genre which would stay with us for years and never really happened. Etc, etc, the usual biography stuff that you've probably read 100 times before. He ends up having to go to America, his place of birth, because it's either that or get in trouble with the cops, go to jail. In his quest for physical perfection, Lee drove himself with a vengeance. Welcome to Our Body Like Bruce. This is part 2 to our video on the fist who shook the world. This is a great book because it goes in depth through each movie, explains it, symbolic symbology behind the movies that you may not have noticed or become aware of. Here's Bruce Lee, Son of the Dragon, Kato and the Green Hornet, Bruce Lee Van Wert, so that might be an original poster. Looks like he's got blonde hair there. Yeah, never really watched it. Looked okay. Watched the old Key Luke. It's about 1950s. I think it's the blind monk from the TV series Kung Fu. Yeah, he was Kato. Not bad. Information there on Kato and the Green Hornet. Number One Son, because of Lee's nationality, never developed into a series. Screenwriter Lorenzo Semple Jr., who penned the screenplays for the remake of King Kong, Never Say Never Again, in a 1966 pilot episode of Batman, said of the proposed program, he'd be hacking around writing horrible plots, which in itself for producers William Dozier. And Bill made a deal with ABC to do a Charlie Chan series called Number One Son. He wrote the script in Spain, where he was living at the time. They never liked it, except they said there's only one thing wrong. We decided that we don't want anything with a Chinaman in it. They felt rather guilty, so they told Bill, if you like, you and Lorenzo can do Batman. Bill came to see him in Madrid and was pretty embarrassed. William Dozier, they came back to Lee with the Kato role in the 20th Century Fox, which owned the series, put the actor on retainer. The report on Lee's camera test for the studio reads, where Lee punched, the whole process only used up 3 frames. In a second, 24 frames of film will be used. Bruce only used an eighth of a second to give a punch. Maybe that's how fast he was. And there's the original screen test, which is quite well known, where he's sitting in a dappy suit and then an old guy steps forth when he's a bit frightened. Which is obviously he thinks I'm going to hit him, hurt him, whatever. But his punches him and sort of like winded him, put wind across his face. He didn't actually hit him, but he had this guy scared. Probably all seen it as fans. Show us some Kung Fu movements. Well, it's hard to show it alone, but I will do my best. Just alright, maybe you can find a fellow to walk it. Yeah, that'll be fine. So this old guy walks in. Right. Just okay. After a volunteer has been found, although accidents do happen, teasing the volunteer, there are various kinds of strikes. It depends on where you hit and what weapon you use. To the eye, you would use a finger jab. Does a finger jab and then says to the cowering victim, don't worry, I won't hurt you. To the eyes, straight to the face, or the waist. volunteer, these are just natural reactions, explaining his flinching throughout the demonstration. Test. Right, into the camera, show us again. Lee. Alright, there's the finger, jab, there's the punch, there's the back fist, and then of course, and then low. Of course, then they use the legs, straight to the groin will come up. But if I can back up a little, and come back. Alright, test it, alright. Lead volunteer. You look kind of worried. Test it. There's nothing to worry about. Now again, show us how a Kung Fu man would very coolly handle it and walk away. So, here the guy worried, the volunteer was worried. That's where he says, these are just natural reactions, right? You look kind of worried. There he is, I don't see the Green Hornet. In the episode, May the Best Man Lose. More information there. While shooting the Green Hornet, he became friendly with assistant producer Charles Fitzsimon. During a lunch together, Fitzsimon suggested that Lee could earn a small fortune by giving private lessons for $50 or more an hour, rather than charging $22 a month to students at his dojo. Bruce, who would eventually raise his rates to $250 an hour and was once flown to Switzerland by Roman Polanski for special lessons, mentioned the idea to his student and hairstylist Jay Seabury. This guy who eventually was murdered by the Manson family. The famous beautician connected Lee with Steve McQueen, who Lee described as a fighter. They wanted to see, McQueen is a tough son of a bitch, whereas James Coburn's more of a gentleman, So McQueen got it, understood Jeet Kune Do, the physical aspect of it, right? Whereas James Coburn was more the philosophical side of Jeet Kune Do. His reputation and contacts with powerful people in the entertainment industry grew from that point. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Really. And it continues on. When Lee and Coburn scouted for locations in India to do the silent friction developed between them, the American star objected to Lee's flashy displays and stunts which attracted crowds. Lee couldn't understand why. At hotels like the Taj Mahal in Bombay, Coburn received the lavish suites and best attention, while he and Silverfoot were allotted merely average rooms. Silverfoot recalled Bruce came to him one evening and said that he was the star, not him. James Coburn. For the first time, Silverfoot realised this guru wasn't just a great martial artist, he was also an actor filled with ego. He didn't respect him any less, he just saw him more realistically. He said then he'd be the biggest star in the world, bigger than Coburn or McQueen. He said, no way, Silverfoot, you're a Chinese in a white man's world. Then he went out and did it. So when he said he's going to be something or do something, he did it. This guy was very popular in the early 70s. Jimmy Wang Yu. Pretty good movies. It's Jimmy Wang Yu. We need to do one box was her mother's sister. Fist of Fury. There's information here. Tells you what this actual film was all about, the storyline. Bruce Lee realised the style required the type of fights in their film. Those kind of films required drastic changes to martial art films. He observed the fights were terrible, everybody always fighting the same way and fighting all the time. They were unrealistic, always a lot of overreacting. Bruce Lee introduced some new elements, some subtly, like when he kicked, he really kicked. Scene in the movie. And this is how deep it goes. The final villain, like the boss in Kung Fu films, is always an older man, a father figure who is clearly out of the mythological consideration of Cronus, a dethroned titan, or Seth, a son of Adam. Cronus is usually pictured as a bent old man with a scythe in one hand. On the other hand, he holds a snake that bites its own tail. The story of Cronus swallowing his children symbolises the idea that time creates and then destroys what it has created, just like these Kung Fu villains destroyed. Seth, who is usually represented by the heads of a strange-looking animal that may have been a cross between a donkey and a pig, was in constant warfare with his own brother, Osiris. Isn't that Seth? Ancient Egyptian principle, who represented the principle of goodness. Set killed his sibling. The Kung Fu hero is as clearly a mythical extension of Zeus or Horus. Zeus, the king of the gods and the supreme ruler of men in Greek mythology, was especially associated with justice and punished the wicked, and rewarding the good. Horus, the ancient god of light and heaven, was the first Egyptian god recognized as the national god and worshipped in both Lower and Upper Egypt. A life-giving god who held the Ankh, the symbol of life, in his right hand. Horus was pictured as either a falcon or a human with a falcon's head. Such mythical patterns also reflect universal psychological conflicts. The father figure is always rich, a worthwhile symbolic adversary for a ghetto hero. Lecherous, a dirty old man, and quite skillful. There is some implication that he may be a self-made ghetto figure who is profited by a betrayal of his origins, a terrible father who, like Cronus, has gobbled up his children and must be destroyed by the last of those children. When Chi faces Bruce Lee's character, faces the boss and the big boss, at the climax of Fist, or the big boss, all of his male cousins, including the boy, the only child character and a very minor one at that, in any Lee picture, who sold rice pies in the opening scene, have been slaughtered by the boss's minions. Chen and another cousin leave the ice factory to visit the boss, who receives a neck massage from a servant girl as he talks with the two visitors seeking the whereabouts of Wang and Chan, the two cousins that disappeared. They offer this money and refuse. Suspicious of the boss's explanation, Chen threatens to contact the authorities. A declaration proving him to be an unsophisticated participant in deadly films. That would be James Tian's character. Wasn't this martial arts on there? Horrifying. It's just like crap. You know? Just basically throwing his arms around and stuff. When you call it that. Police will laugh at you. That was saying suggested the control of the rich have over the authorities. Upon hearing the threat, the boss orders his men to action. Chen, let's get real. over there. Supposedly never coming back. They probably jumped somewhere with a woman. She's like cousins over there. You know something, right? So that was. Etc. etc. He ends up and his cousin ended up dead in the ice over here. Drowned in the ice, packed in the ice by Bruce's character. Of what it was really symbolizing. So if you want to read this particular book, we can leave the link to it underneath this video. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up or a like, and then tell all your friends how great this video was. If you really liked it, share it with them, because it goes deep into all the 4 movies that Bruce Lee actually did. They started and he directed all that stuff.